now out on this island. He's there. He spends like a month, and they're sitting down to watch a movie at the theater.
Oh, yeah.
I remember one time we had the awesome CBs that worked for, that were in Ramadi with us, and so they're building bunkers. I'm not kidding. Like, what were their priority builds when they were in Ramadi with me on our little Camp Mark Lee? The priorities that they were working on were bunkers, were security walls on the river, getting barbed wire. Those were the priorities they were working on. And my lead CB, my CB chief, he had to go to our headquarters for a couple days to get money and get equipment and whatever. And when he came back, he was a great dude. His nickname was Biggie, and he was big.
Another one of those things.
Yeah. No, he would like his warm up sets on bench were 315. He was big and he was strong. Yeah, and he was strong. Oh. And he came back, and he says, "Hey, sir, coming back from Fallujah." And I was like, "Oh, everything cool out there?" He goes, "Let me tell you something." I was like, "What's that, Biggie?" He says, "You know what they're building out there?" I said, "No, I have no idea. I don't care what they're building out there, because they're building a theater." I said, "What?" He said, "They're building a theater." I said, "You mean a movie theater?" He goes, "Yes, a theater." And he was just beside himself, because here we were trying to build bunkers and security walls. They were building a theater. Biggie didn't like that. No. But those CBs, man, they kept everything rocking and rolling. Props to the machine gunners. Props to the CBs, for sure. So they're in a theater that had been built out here. And the movie began. There was an interruption. Over a public address system, a voice announced, "Allied troops have just invaded northern France. The second front has been opened." Cheers and shouts rose into the soft night, to be followed by a buzz of excitement. But then the film began, and silence was restored. I arose and left the amphitheater, my heart throbbing in excitement. It was difficult to comprehend this excitement. It was a mix of thrill and pride, but predominating was the heartbeat of anxiety, for suddenly it had been borne in upon me that great events were happening, that the war was now rushing downhill to victory, and here I was, clad in pallid pajamas and robe, lounging around a hospital. Yearning came upon me in a rush, and I wept, hurrying along the dark road back to the hospital. I wanted to rejoin my comrades. So he goes in to see Dr. Gentle, goes into his office, and basically they work it out. Back to the book. "There's not much we can do for this trouble of yours," the hospital commander told me. "There's no curing it out here. What you need is a change of climate and a less nerve-wracking assignment." "You're shipping me back to the States, sir?" I asked. He smiled wanly. "Ordinarily, yes. Unfortunately, you Marines can't go home unless you're carried home. So we are sending you back to duty with the suggestion that your commanding officer have the sentry wake you during the night." I laughed, and he laughed, and Dr. Gentle laughed. Because they knew that's not something that's feasible. What they're basically saying is, you're going to go back and you're just going to piss yourself and you're going to fight. And that's exactly what he wanted.